Again, for a sound check, I'm just going to have you say your first and last name for me. Can you go ahead and remember right?
Don Carriker.
Perfect. Can you give the spelling of your first and last name?
Doncarriker.
Perfect. And then as well your title.
I'm the Central Committee Chairman here in Christian County.
Perfect.
Republican Party.
Perfect. So the first question I wanted to go ahead and ask you is a little bit more about that.
Okay, wait a minute. You need to let me know we're going right into the interview.
Oh, yeah. So we're going right into the first question for you.
See, we're doing a sound check first, and then it just went right in.
Usually, yeah, that's usually because I'm trying to get you in and out here. But the first question I wanted to go ahead and ask you, can you tell me a little bit more about the vetting process?
Okay, the vetting process was started almost, the idea of that was a year ago with the Lincoln Days that happened in Springfield. The Central Committee chairman, a lot of us got together and realized that we have no association and no voice. So we got together and we formed RePactMO.com, which is a Republican Association of Central Committees. And with that, we got together and realized that we need to have a voice in the party through the state.
Perfect. Can you tell me a little bit more about what is the goal of the vetting process?
Basically, the goal is to make sure that people who live in areas that are heavily Republican don't have Democrats run as Republicans just to get elected.
Perfect. And why do you think it's so important to have something such as the vetting process? Can you tell me a little bit more about your thoughts as far as that?
The vetting process is very important because you end up having the ability objectively to help people understand that when they have an R by their name, that they really are truly Republicans. You've heard of rhinos, you've heard of the uniparty. People are tired of going to the voter's box and picking people that they think are going to represent their ideals and their morals. And then they find out after they get elected that they're voting against them. We have a supermajority in Missouri at the State House, and yet we can't get many things passed that are on the Republican platform.
Perfect. And, can you talk to me about if individuals fail or don't pass this, 25-question survey or test, whatever you may call it, what happens then? What is the next step then?
Well, it depends on whether you're an elected official already or you're not. With somebody who we don't know from Adam, we have to try and decipher whether they are truly Republican enough to represent the party. Because people don't understand, the party is a private group, just like the Rotary Club or the Kiwanis. It's not a government group. You don't have the right to be part of a club or part of a party unless the people that are part of that party want to associate with you. It's freedom of association, the First Amendment. And we have the full right to do that. And when somebody wants to represent you, they're applying basically for a job to represent the Republican Party in that job. And if they're not vetted properly, then you don't have any ability to know whether they're really going to represent you or not.
Perfect. Just going to change the angle up here really quickly. Perfect. Next question I want to go ahead and ask you, what are some of the concerns you've heard about the vetting process? Can you talk to me about that?
Yes, very much so. The biggest concern is they think it's like the prom. It's favoritism. Oh, well, we're just going to pick people we like. That is not it at all. They totally don't understand. The vetting process we've created through RePactMO is a totally objective survey to try and find out where a person's beliefs stand to see if they align with the party in a majority way. And if they do, you could have 10 people running under the Republican Party for the same position. As long as they all are Republican, we don't mind. We want Republicans to run. We don't want other parties to run as Republicans. We have a brand to uphold, and people are really there's not a whole lot of faith in the brand right now, is why they're calling it the uniparty, having both Democrats and Republicans blending together, not really having much difference.
Perfect. I want to talk to you about, not necessarily the goal, but I want to talk to you about how the vetting process, how you believe it will bring the Republican Party kind of together and kind of have everyone along the same page. It's kind of what you just referenced there. Can you talk to me a little bit more in depth of how this vetting process will do exactly that?
Think about it this way. If you are part of a group and you have some bad apples in that group, it ruins the whole group. It makes it difficult to get the job done. Through the vetting process, if we can eliminate the bad apples that are not really believers of the Republican Party platform, then they're not going to be allowed in the party, and we will no longer have to deal with them at the State House.
Perfect. You know, I also wanted to ask you, in a recent article, like I just said, you stated that the pushback about this process is surprisingly comes from the Missouri Republican Party.
I never said that.
Well, in an article, in an article that you did.
Oh, a previous article.
Yes.
I thought you meant now.
No, oh, no, not now. In a previous, that's why I said in a previous article, you stated that the pushback about this process surprisingly comes from the Missouri Republican Party, specifically concerns of whether or not they think this is unconstitutional. Can you talk to me a little bit more about their concerns specifically, if you don't mind?
I can't talk about what they're concerned about. We're concerned that they're worried that you won't have a majority Republican in the State House anymore. And we already have proof of how that works. We have a Republican supermajority. We have the governor, we have the State House, and yet we can't get the work done. Right now, there's numerous bills up there that need to get passed, and they're not getting passed. And it's not because of the Democrats. It's because of the Republicans are not truly, there's a lot of Republicans up there that are not abiding by the platform and trying to get bills passed that are from the platform. We're very strong on the platform. The party just wants people to have ours by their names. They don't care.
Second to last question for you. Can you talk to me about what the vetting process is? Does the process consist of on that survey or that test, if you don't mind
Well,
explaining?
like I said, the survey is mainly for people who are not in office right now. They have no voting record to go off of, so we can't look at their voting record. The entire vetting process is for people who are new to running, but also for incumbents as well. And the incumbents, we're looking at their voting record. We're looking how they vote. Do they vote with the Republicans? Do they vote according to the platform? With people who are brand new, you don't have a whole lot to go off of. So we created, through REPAC MO, through PhDs that are in education and curriculum, we created a survey of your beliefs. It's not a test, it's a survey. It comes from the heart. What do you truly believe in? And when they fill out those questions, and they answer those questions, they get a grade. It's automatically graded. It's not touched by a human. It's through one of the online services. And it's done automatically. I don't touch it. All I do is get them on it. They answer the questions. And then when the questions are done, when they're done, I get shown what their scoring is, whether it was pass, fail. And if they fail, then their beliefs don't align with a majority of the Republican platform.
Perfect. The last question I want to go ahead and ask you, what do you think the most important message is maybe about the vetting process, or, what do you think the most important message is about the story and challenge?
The most important question and the most important thing we're trying to get across is, like I said, let's say you go to a church and somebody comes up and says, not only do I want to be part of your church, I want to be part of your club, but I want to run it. I want to be the pastor. Would you vet them, or would you just say, oh, we'll just let the people decide, and if you can snow them over, then you can become pastor of that church and lead it in a totally different direction than what they believe. The beliefs of the people are very strong. The beliefs of the party are written down. They're in the platform. If you don't abide by the platform or believe in the platform, you're not abiding by the freedom of association that's stated in the First Amendment of the Constitution. It's already gone to the Supreme Court, and they've decided that you have the right of association. And we have the right of association to say, you're not a Republican. You're not going to be hired to elected so that you can run for us.
I said that was the last question, but something came up. I'm sorry, by what you were just saying. You talked about, the people, right? How is this process beneficial for the people when it comes
Oh my gosh.
when it comes to voting? I think that's going to be the number one question that's asked.
It's so easy. It's so easy to understand. When you go to buy a can of Coke, you know what to expect, right? You know mostly what it's going to taste like. When you go to McDonald's, you know a Big Mac, whether you buy it here or in Japan, is going to taste the same. That's called brand association. Republicans are losing their brand association. people don't know what the R means by the person's name because of the uniparty and how everything has been blended together to where Republicans are voting like Democrats. We're trying to bring the brand back, bring some loyalty to the brand back, and make our people that are running under the R banner, make them abide by the platform and vote according to the platform.
Perfect. Was there anything else that I might have not mentioned or left out that you think is important that you want to mention before I end?
It's kind of noisy. Oh wait, let's
Oh,
wait.
yeah, I know you have some important information. Go ahead.
Just go.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
It's extremely important that people Yeah, just pause or something.
I like it because it was orange.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
We're good?
Yep.
I think one of the most important things that people need to realize is that the Republican parties or the political parties are not part of the government. You don't just get to belong to them just because you say you do. You have somebody who is running the parties, and we run them at the county level. And we have to be able to say, yes, we want to associate with you because you respect our platform, or no, we don't because you don't. It's a private club. It's not a public thing that you can just join.
How does it make you feel knowing that, I'm not sure if this is happening, but, people who may come in and, they're saying they're Republicans, but the test shows otherwise? The survey.
Yes, survey.
Yes, shows otherwise. How does that make you feel, personally?
If they're not Republicans,
So I'm saying if someone comes in and they're going to take the vetting process, right? They're
Right.
coming in saying that they belong to the Republican Party.
Right.
But then you get the results back from that test and
survey.
I'm so sorry, survey.
Right.
Thank you so much for correcting me.
Mhm.
You get the results back from that survey and it tells you otherwise. How does that personally make you feel?
We had somebody do that here in Christian County where they didn't get through the threshold. They didn't pass the threshold. And they came to me, when they first came to me, they said, I don't really know if I'm a Republican. I said, well, take the survey. Because everybody's beliefs they're equally fair. They're just beliefs. They're not right or wrong, they're just beliefs. Some may have beliefs of one thing and some may not. The whole point is, the Republican Party means something. It needs to mean something when you have an R by your name. When you vote Republican, you have to know that that person is going to represent the platform and the party.
Perfect. One more question for you. I'm so sorry. It's just coming up. But how important is it to have this process? I don't think we touched on that a little bit, but I want you to go in depth if you can.
It's never been done before. The Republican Party lets anybody that is, now I take that back. They don't always do that. There's been instances where parties don't let people run, okay? And there was a lady in Christian County that was under felony investigation, and they didn't let her run under the Republican banner. So it's been done before. It's just not been done officially and in a manner of objectivity that we're presenting and that we're doing. And it's not just Christian County, we're doing statewide. We've now vetted over 180 candidates statewide. Not just us, not just Christian County, I'm talking the entire state. Many counties in this state, we've vetted over 180 candidates. And a lot of them are running for state offices. Jay Ashcroft and Mike Moon, many other people, they've all been vetted voluntarily because they want to be. They want to know that people know they're Republican.
What do you want to see more so in the future when it comes to this vetting process? Do you want to see more counties kind of continuing following your guys' lead and doing something of a sort like this? This is the first of its kind, like you just said, or doing the Carriker. Can you talk to me about the hopes of the future for this?
I need to turn off my phone.
I didn't know that was a phone. Nice ringtone. That's a great way to start the day.
I forget what the question was.
So I want to know your hopes for the future when it comes to the vetting process in short terms.
The hopes for the future is that when people go and vote Republican, they know that those people will be upholding a platform that they probably read and agreed to, and now they know that they're going to get a Big Mac when they order a Big Mac.
So I'm gonna stop. So what I mean by that, do you want to see more counties kind of instilling this vetting process? That was more so the.
I'd like to see the whole country instill the vetting process. There needs to be vetting. There needs to be consistency of brand. There needs to be brand awareness where people know the platform is what dictates the brand. And the platform is changing. Every 4 years, it changes. And if it changes to where this, anybody believes is not following them, then maybe they need to change parties. But the platform is important, and we need to abide by it.
Perfect. That's a great note to end it on right there. I'm going to go ahead and take the mic back from you. Just take that. Well, Don, I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this for me. I hope I didn't take too much of your time today.
Luckily, nobody was showing up.
Okay, perfect. So this will be airing in the 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. today. I do have your cell phone number, so I can, if you want me to, I can send you a link to the story once it's posted on the
Yeah, because
website.
I won't be able to get online. You have to be a member or log on.
Okay, perfect.